Hi everyone, in this video we're going to talk about simplifying expressions using exponent rules. If you're not comfortable with exponent rules, you can watch my previous video. So let's get started. Here is the first expression. I have x to the power of 3 to the power of 4. So this equals to, we write down the base and we multiply the exponents. 3 times 4, which is 12. That's our answer. X to the power of negative 5. So whenever you have a negative exponent, we have to change it to a positive exponent. How can we do that? I can just change a negative exponent to a positive exponent by writing the reciprocal of the power and change the sign of the exponent. So x to the power of negative 5, so you know it's x over 1. So I can write this, the reciprocal of it is 1 over x to the power of 5, and I change the sign of the exponent. Negative 5 becomes positive 5. So let's do another one. 3 over 2 to the power of negative 2. So I have a negative exponent. Again, I want to change it to a positive exponent. So I have to write down the reciprocal of the power. So the reciprocal of 3 over 2 is just 2 over 3. And we change the sign of the exponent, which is when negative 2 becomes positive 2. So that's our answer. X to the power of 4 over x to the power of 7. So this equals to, we write down one of the bases, and subtract the exponents. 4, the top minus the bottom one. So 4 minus 7. This equals to x to the power of negative 3. Again, we have a negative exponent. I have to turn it to positive. So this equals to the reciprocal of this, which is 1 over x to the power of 3, and change the sign. So negative 3 becomes positive 3. So this is our answer. And there is another way to do this. You know, x to the power of 4 means x times x times x times x 4 times. And x to the power of 7 means we have to multiply x 7 times. So that's 7 times. So here I have 4x on the top, 7 on the bottom. So this 4 cancels 4 on the bottom. So now I will be left with 3x in the bottom, right? So x to the power of 3, and on the top we have just 1. So this is another way to solve it. So I can just say x to the power of 4, another way to simplify it. X to the power of 4 divided by x to the power of 7. I can just say this 4 cancels 4 of the 7. So this 7 becomes 3, and this is just 4. That's 4 just becomes 0, right? Because 4 of that cancels 4 of the 7. So this equals to x to the power of 0 over x to the power of 3. And as you know, anything to the power of 0 is just 1. And at the bottom, I have x to the power of 3. So this is my answer. So the simplified version of this expression. 6x to the power of 5 over 3x to the power of 12. So to simplify this, we can just simplify the coefficients and then simplify the variables. So I have 6 over 3, so 3 goes into 6 twice, so it's just 2 over 1, right? So I can write down 2 on the top, 1 in the bottom. So x to the power of 5 over x to the power of 12. Again, this 5 cancel 5 of this 12, so I will be left with 7, and over here is 0. So on the top we have 2 times x to the power of 0, and the bottom we have 1 times x to the power of 7. And again, 2 times anything to the power of 0 is just 1. So I have 2 on the top. In the bottom, I have x to the power of 7. And this is our simplified version of this expression. 4x squared times 3x to the power of 5. How can we solve this? So in this case, we can just multiply the coefficients and then multiply the variables. So 4 times 3 times x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 5. So 4 times 3 is just 12. X to the power of 2 times x to the power of 5. We are multiplying two powers with same base or common base. I can write down one of the bases and add up the exponents. 2 plus 5 is just 7. This is our answer. 3a squared b cubed times 4a to the power of 4b to the power of 6. Again here, we can just multiply the coefficients and then multiply the variables. So 3 times 4 times a to the power of 2, a to the power of 4, times b to the power of 3 times b to the power of 6. So 3 times 4 is just 12. And here I have multiple variables here, so I have to look for the variable for the powers with the same base. So these two have same base, which is a, and these two have same base, which is b. So I have 12, 3 times 4 is 12. A to the power of 2 times a to the power of 4. I write down one of the bases and add up the exponents. 2 plus 4 is 6. And for b, I write down one of the b's and then add up the exponents. 3 plus 6 is 9. This is our answer. For x cubed to the power of 2. So whenever we have a bracket to the power of something, we have to apply that power into everything in the bracket. So I have to apply that to 4 and then to x cubed. So this equals to 4 to the power of 2 times x to the power of 3 to the power of 2. So 4 to the power of 2 is just 16, x to the power of 3 to the power of 2. And so here we have to write the base, which is x, and then multiply the exponent, 3 times 2, so it's 6. So this is our answer, 16x to the power of 6. So 6x squared y to the power of 6 over 2x to the power of 4 y to the power of 3. So we can just simplify the coefficients first. So 2 to the 1, 2 goes into 6 3 times. So I have 3 on the top, 1 in the bottom. So I have x squared divided by x to the power of 4. So this 2 cancels 2 of this 4. So I have 2 left over here, and this becomes 0. And for y's, I have y to the power of 6 on the top, y to the power of 3 on the bottom. This 3 cancels 3 of the 6, so we end up with 3 on the top. So 3 times x to the power of 0 times y to the power of 3 over 1 times x to the power of 2 y to the power of 0. So again, anything to the power of 0 is just 1, so 3 times 1 is 3, and y to the power of 3, that's our numerator. For denominator, I have 1x squared times y to the power of 0, which is 1, so just x squared. This is our answer. Let's do another one. It's a little more complicated. So whenever you have the rational expression, complicated rational expressions, try to simplify the numerator and denominator separately. So let's do that. Let's simplify numerator first. Negative 2ab squared times 4a to the power of 4b6. So what should we do here? We have to multiply the coefficients and then multiply the variables. So negative 2 times 4 times a to the power of 4 times b to the power of 2 times b to the power of 6. And then we simplify that further later. So let's go with the denominator. I have 2ab squared to the power of 3. Again, when we have a bracket to the power of something, we have to apply that exponent to everything inside the bracket. So in denominator, I have 2 to the power of 3 and a to the power of 3, and then b squared to the power of 3. Simplify further. For numerator, I have negative 2 times 4 is 8. A times a to the power of 4. So I write down one of the bases and add up the exponents. So you know this is just, the exponent is just 1. So 1 plus 4 is just 5. Now for b's, b squared times b to the power of 6. Write down one of the b's and add up the exponents. 2 plus 6 is just 8. And for the denominator, I have 2 to the power of 3, which is just 8. And I have a to the power of 3. Again, the a has exponent of 1. So 1 times 3 is just a to the power of 3 times b to the power of 2 times 3 is just b to the power of 2 times 3 is 6. So we simplified numerator and denominator. Now we can simplify further between numerator and denominator. So, oops, sorry, this is and negative 8, not 8. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So this 8 and this 8 can cancel each other out. So I have a negative on the top, 1 on the bottom. So I have negative 1 on the top and positive 1 in the bottom. A to the power of 5 over a to the power of 3. Again, this 3 cancels 3 of this, so I have a to the power of 2 on the top. And over here, I have b to the power of 8 over b to the power of 6, so this 6 cancels 6 of this 8, and I will be left with 2. So our answer, simplified version is negative 1 times a to the power of 2 times b to the power of 2 over 1 times a to the power of 0 times b to the power of 0. So as you know, this is just, so anything to the power of 0 we said is just 1, so 1 times 1 times 1 is just 1. We really don't need to write that 1 in denominator, so we just ignore it. So I have negative a to the power of 2, b to the power of 2. This is our final answer. The simplified version of this expression. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.